All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Brentwood. My name is Jennifer Bourne. Thank you. I'm your fearless leader this year. Today, our inspirational message will be led by Tucker Day and our pledge and four-way test by Mike Huff. Tucker?
Let us pray. Dear Lord, as we begin this meeting, help us set aside the distractions of the day and come together with purpose and unity. Guide our conversations, decisions, and service so they reflect wisdom, integrity, and compassion for those we serve in our community. May this gathering strengthen our fellowship, inspire thoughtful leadership, and remind us of the positive impact we can make together. We are grateful for the opportunity to serve, connect, and contribute. Bless this time and each person here today. In your name we pray. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the four-way test. Is it the truth? Oh, first. 2, 3, 4. I'll remember that next time.
All right. We have a lot of guests in the room, and to introduce our guest.
All right, everybody. We've got a full house today. Sorry, I just jumped in.
No, you're totally fine. To introduce our guest today is our club secretary and future president, Jennifer Shepard.
All right, everybody. We've got a full house today, and it's really exciting. So let me introduce our guests. We've got Linda Payne over there. She has visited several times, and she is in the membership pipeline. So hopefully you have gotten to know her by now. And we have a visiting Rotarian, my guest, Jackie Ekbari. Jackie lives in Brentwood, and she's a member of the Nashville Downtown Rotary, the really big one. She's on the board. She's a big deal. And we have a familiar face over here. Kip, you want to introduce your familiar face? You're familiar.
Yeah, we got a guy here. Let's see, he sold books. He lives in Brentwood a little bit. His name's Chuck Blackburn.
For those of you who don't know, Chuck used to be a member of our club, so it's really good to have you back. And Tucker's got a friend to introduce. I don't know, friend might be a strong word. Maybe I should just say guest.
With me is Rocco Ansidormi. He's a friend, a warrior poet, and he also works for Velocity One. So that's everything from managed IT to cybersecurity to ramp corporate cards and, money management platforms. And I'm happy to have him here because he's kind of interested. So.
Thank you. We're glad you're here. And we've got a really big table over here. We're so glad to have all of you. This is the Fogelberg family. So we all know Harold. We haven't seen you in a while, but we're really glad to have you, Harold. Good to see you. And we've got his wife, Paula. And we have, I don't know all of you, but we have Sarah. Okay, Sarah and Todd. Y'all look alike. I see the family resemblance. Darcy Copeland. And we have Anna Ray Copeland. And we have Ellie Fogelberg. Did I get everybody? All right. Thank you all for coming. It really means a lot to me. I think that's it. Thank you.
Oh, is that everyone? All right. Okay, we have a big month coming up. So I want to share a couple things that are going on with this month. But before I go into that, about 2 weeks ago, Gil and Patrick and our club was honored for Patrick's hard work and for our hard work with the Harpeth Conservancy. We went and accepted a River Restoration Legacy Award that the Harpeth Conservancy put together for a bunch of people. And we were one of the recipients for all the work with the Little Harpeth River cleanup. So it was really great. So thank you, Patrick, for all your hard work wherever he is. I see him right there. And it was nice to be a part of that function with the Harpeth River Conservancy. Okay, things coming up. Larry, Summer is here. If you didn't know, school is out. Summer is here. As a result of that, people start vacationing. That doesn't mean the golf tournament goes away. Right? Yeah.
All right, so in the nature of serving time here, I'm just going to throw out a bunch of numbers. So everybody listen to these numbers because they're pretty important. We haven't met in 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks we had 2 sales. Thank you very much, Ashley Burnett and Beth Dormany. Both sold sponsors over $1,000 each, so good for them. We currently have 54 sponsors sold. Now, who thinks that's good? Good, right answer. We sold 182 sponsors last year, so we're 1/3 of where we were last year. That's so got a long way to go. We've got 94 days till our event. We got plenty of time, but we can't sit on it. We're financially at 50% of our goal for next year. Our first 54 sales have been good ones. And so we've been lucky. We've sold all of our bigger sponsors. And so we're at 50% of our goal, but we've got to get that other 50% in to be happy. We've sold 24 major sponsorships. We've sold 6 whole sponsorships. Now, just to put that in relation, last year we sold 100 major sponsorships and we sold 109 whole sponsors. So we're at 6. So we got a lot of work to do there. We sold them all. It's on us. It's our stuff to sell. We got 94 days. I think that's everything I wanted to say. Yes. So I want to say one other thing. If you've not heard from your team captain, let me know. Okay. Your team captain should have contacted everybody in this room by now and had some conversation or sent out emails or something to you. So if you've not had, just let me know. Okay. Thank y'all. Get to work. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Larry. Okay. So to piggyback on the golf tournament, we've got 2 massive programs coming up for you guys. On the 12th is our scholarship program. That is why we have our golf tournament, so we can give out scholarships here in the community. We are going to give them away on June 12th, right here in this room. June 19th is our community grant program. That is another reason why we do the golf tournament and we raise so much money, is to give out into the community with our major grants and our community grants. So 2 great programs. If you've not been to them, do yourself a favor and come, because it's really sweet to be able to do that. And it's a heartwarming moment to be able to give back in that way to the people who are receiving it. 2 socials, June 13th. Okay, we haven't been here in 2 weeks, but what's happening June 13th? No, Sybil doesn't get the answer because she's helping me plan it. We're helping you out, guys, right here. June 13th, party, my house. That's all you got to do. Put it on your calendars. I'm going to make it fun. We're talking about well, I'm not going to tell you. We're talking about some fun stuff. June 25th, we are having our installation banquet at the Franklin Marriott. You should have received your invitation to that this week. It is coming up. We are out with the old and with the new. So Jennifer Ruane is going to be our next president, and we are going to honor her at the installation banquet. So please try to make that. It is free for members. So that is part of your membership fee. When you pay your dues, that is part of it. So come, it's going to be a nice event. So if you're in town, please be there. The next thing we're going to do this year, I, as president, have had the honor of doing some really special moments as part of this club. And today is part of that. Keely, will you come up here with me? In the history of our club, we have only done this a handful of times. And I'm so excited that as president, I get to be a part of this, but also that we get to do this today. Yes, I'm going to let you come in because I don't want to steal the bag.
So months ago, possibly years ago, a committee was formed to review how we do a certain procedure in our club. I think Kip definitely was kind of the driving force behind that. Charles, I know, was involved highly as well. Brought in a few other people, and a group was kind of convened formally to look at how we do honorary memberships. Part of that was to review our nomination process and approval process. We went through months and months of reviews of every kind of policy you can conceive of, and did do a revision that was approved by the board this year. Give you just a little bit of information. There's now a nomination form that you can find in our club forms online. And some of the things that the board said are something that we need to consider when we're nominating an honorary member are the following things. Years of Rotary membership, recommend a minimum of 10 years if the person is a former member. If they are a former member, please list Paul Harris Fellow, major donor recognition, all of that sort of fun stuff. If the person is a former member, awards received, leadership positions held. If they're a former member, the reason that they're not able to continue their active membership. And there are many people that could be nominated who are not former members as well. They may have public or nonprofit leadership roles, noteworthy philanthropic service initiatives, all those sorts of things. Former members would also, if they have those sorts of things that you want to mention as you nominate them, you can do that as well. So Jennifer asked me to come up and give just a little bit of a review if you're interested in nominating an honorary member. There is a procedure, there is that form online available. But she also, most importantly, asked me to come up and read a letter that I submitted to the board a few months back. This is the letter. To the 2025-2026 Board of Directors of the Rotary Club of Brentwood, it is my honor to wholeheartedly recommend Harold Fogelberg to you for consideration as an honorary member of the Rotary Club of Brentwood. Through decades of distinguished professional achievement, community engagement, leadership and business ethics, higher education, and sustained service on nonprofit boards, Harold Fogelberg embodies the Rotary motto of service above self. Harold enjoyed a long and notable career in commercial banking and corporate finance, having served in executive roles across major institutions and organizations. Following his business career, he transitioned to academia, where he served as professor at the Jack C. Massey School of Business at Belmont University. In that role, he taught principles of management and business ethics and served as executive director of the Edward C. Kennedy Center for Business Ethics, guiding students and business leaders alike in ethical decision-making and integrity in professional life. His tenure at the center reflects a deep commitment to elevating ethical standards and developing principled leadership in the next generation. Beyond his professional and academic accomplishments, Harold has provided invaluable service on multiple nonprofit boards, including the St. Thomas Health Foundation, Character Counts, the Kennedy Ethics Center, McKendree Village, and of course, the Rotary Club of Brentwood and the BRCCF, demonstrating sustained commitment to civic engagement across diverse causes. His involvement across these organizations reflects a lifelong dedication to service, promoting ethical character development, supporting older adults, advancing health and well-being, empowering students and professionals through mentorship and ethical guidance, and numerous other causes over his decades of giving back to his community. Rotary International's values emphasize ethical conduct, leadership, and community service, and a willingness to contribute time, talent, and resources for the betterment of others and the world at large. Harold's career and volunteer record deeply and powerfully align with these principles. He embodies the Rotary four-way test, living by the highest ethical standards in business and in service, in fostering fellowship and mentorship, and in promoting goodwill through sustained community engagement. In addition to serving the club as president in 1992 and 1993, and all of the leadership ladder positions before and after that, he subsequently sponsored at least 2 current club members that I am aware of, who also served as club presidents later on in their club membership. Harold was formally recognized for his leadership and service to the club and community at large by being presented with both the Bob Billington and Dan Askew Awards during his active membership within the club. Unfortunately, Harold's health prevents him from attending meetings with regularity. Thus, he has resigned his active membership and did so at the end of the calendar year 2025. However, in light of his distinguished professional leadership, longstanding contributions to the betterment of Brentwood and Middle Tennessee, and for his 47 years of distinguished service to the Rotary Club of Brentwood, I enthusiastically recommend Harold Fogelberg to be approved as a lifetime honorary member of the Rotary Club of Brentwood.
Thank you.
So you guys be seated. I'm going to ask that Harold be seated as well, because we have some other people that do want to say some things about him before he has a chance. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Harold.
No, I'm truly humbled and shocked by this generosity on your part. I have no anticipation of something like this ever happening in my life. And I am truly humbled. I'm so grateful for the many, many years I've had in the Rotary organization. And I'm sorry that I'm not able, from a health point of view, to be able to be a regular member. But my heart is with each of you. And Keely, you and I go back a long way. I want to thank my wife, Paula, and all that she has brought to Rotary as well. She's endured an awful lot of meals over the years. Maybe endured was not the right word, but. And I want to thank my family who are here, my son and daughter-in-law, and two of my grandchildren. Again, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We have a couple of others who do want to share some thoughts about Harold, some memories as well. And we do have an honorary membership certificate and a lapel pin that we're going to present to you. But next up, Roger Greenup.
Thanks, Keely and Jennifer. Well deserved recognition for Harold. It's not often that we have the honor of recognizing someone like Harold. We've had many members over the years. I've only been a member of this club for 26 years, and we've had a lot of outstanding people come and go. But Harold is one that stands alone, in my opinion. He's not only been big in this club, but big in the community. He's been a major player in Nashville and Middle Tennessee. I actually met Harold before I knew him in Rotary. Somebody object. Did I say that? Anyway, I first met Harold in the early 90s. He was actually serving on the board of McKendree Village at that time, among other things. And during that time, we had a number of interactions. I knew a little bit about him. I knew much more later on, especially in Rotary. But I come to realize that this was a man of great integrity and high principles. And it was an honor to get to work with him and serve that client as well as he did. Later on, when I joined Rotary, got to know Harold better. Harold and Robert Fiddler, the late Robert Fiddler, were driving forces in our run for Rotary. For some of you, that predates probably your membership, but Run for Rotary was our big fundraiser in addition to our pancake day before the golf tournament. And they both spent many hours organizing that, setting it up, working on that. And we were able to raise a lot of money, give a lot of money away. Harold was instrumental in that. I also remember that Harold was involved in character counts. That's about the time also that he was at Belmont teaching. And, just for the fun of it, I thought, the internet preserves a lot of information. One of those things was student surveys when Harold was teaching. And so I went online, I looked at a lot of those, number of those, and the most frequent comments were, he gives easy test, short short lectures, which they seem to really like. But seriously, the comments that really stood out, he taught about real world business principles. He was teaching at the Kennedy School of Ethics at that time. He was passionate about his subject, and he wanted everyone to succeed. That's the Harold they knew. That's the Harold we know. They loved him. We love him. We're thankful that we're able to recognize Harold today. Thank you.
It's already been mentioned, 2 or 3 in this room knew a gentleman by the name of Bob Billington. There's no one in this room that's not heard of the name of Bob Billington. There's a story early on when Harold and Paula came to Nashville, to the Brentwood area. Harold was working for Guaranteed Mortgage. One day, there was a man that came into his office by the name of Bob Billington. Bob Billington said to Harold, "Harold, you need to become a member of the Brentwood Rotary Club." And Harold's response was, "Oh, I don't have time for that." Harold's boss was a man named Andrew Benedict. And the story is told that Bob Billington's response to Harold's response, "I don't have time," he said, "Well, that's strange because Andrew Benedict thinks you have time to be a member of the Brentwood Rotary Club." And Harold became a member of the Brentwood Rotary Club. It's already been made mention by Roger that he was kind of the co-pilot with Robert Fiddler with our Run for Rotary and the development and establishment of that. Many things he has done. He was president of this club when he signed off the papers to allow me to come in to be a member of this club 35 years ago, something like that. So you can blame him if you want to blame him for me being here today. Just how old are you? Good gracious. Harold has been an outstanding member of this club, has done many, many works for this club that most of us don't even know. So it is truly an honor to recognize him today and an appreciation for all he has meant to our club.
All right. Thank you, Harold. Thank you, Paula, for concocting all of this to surprise him. This was all done behind your back. And it was beautiful. So thank you. If you guys have, there are a lot of people in this room that in now, past, and future that may be worthy of honorary membership. As Keely mentioned, if you have any questions on that, we now have a proposal form and we have criteria for it. And so just like you proposed to be a member, we're going to propose this. If you guys noticed, it was in reflections for a couple of weeks when this was originally approved by the board. So we take it very seriously. So if you guys have people, please be considering that. We're going to move on to Happy Bucks. Keely, you didn't hear enough from him today, so here we go.
Never give me the microphone. All right. We have a lot of people, I am certain, who are happy today, and starting us off is going to be Bob.
Getting up and speaking, I am speaking in the microphone, but Harold, I just want to say thank you to you and Paula and your family. And in a word, I would say Harold Fogelberg is a class act man, and he has represented Rotary in an incredible way. And we owe a lot of the reputation of Rotary the way Harold has represented our club and his profession and his family. Well, I thank you, Harold, for your service, and it's great for you and your family to be here.
Yeah. There we go. Harold, congratulations. Brought your lovely wife with you. And
where'd your granddaughter graduate from? There we go.
Tucker, we're coming to you later. Be ready.
Some of us that have known Pokey for a long time, I mean, Pokey, is that your still name? In the event, it's been our pleasure to have known you all these years, and we'll continue to know you and see you here at the club. And for those of you who don't know, he was All-American at Butler University in Indiana.
I'm honored to be here today as well, and I've known Harold and Paula for forever. It's truly an honor and great to see you. But I want to give $10 happy bucks today for giving back the money I was given to blow the, oh wait.
Devin.
I have two things I'm very happy about today. So I'll go to the lesser important one, and that is I am now the proud father of a college graduate. My son finished at Purdue University, and I was not here because we were at his graduation. He is employed. It is wonderful. I look forward to officially removing him from the family payroll. I'm also very thankful for Harold. I sat here during these wonderful remarks, and I thought, how many years has it been since I've known Harold? And I'm really not this old, so I'm totally making this up. It is 47 years I've known Harold. It's crazy to think about. I really met his son first, Todd, and then I got introduced to Harold, but he's been a wonderful business mentor to me. He was a great Rotary mentor to me. When I got on the ladder, he asked me very simple questions like, are you crazy? Yes, you're going to do this. It'll be the most fun you've ever had. And he was right. But most importantly, the way I've looked at him as it's somebody to emulate because he does the right thing. So congratulations and thank you for all you've done to our club.
All right. Who else is happy? I'm also the proud father of a recent college graduate. That person graduated from the most difficult state school to get into in Mississippi, which is what now?
Hail State, go Dogs. I got a couple of things I'm happy about. One, college baseball is starting today. Sorry, Ole Miss didn't get a host. They're not good enough. I get married in 2 months from today. Yeah, I just want to tell you, Harold, I never got to meet you. You just sound like an amazing person, but Hail State, I'm sorry you went there.
Who else is happy?
Okay, so I put in $10. I get two. So first, I want to recognize the 86th birthday of my also dear friend, Ambassador Dick Bowers. And you don't look a day over 90. I think you look great. When I first retired from the Army and came back home to Nashville, Harold took me under his arm with Robert Fiddler and sort of helped me find my way again. They put me to work is what they did. But this weekend, there's a TV show called Face the Nation, and they had two Medal of Honor recipients. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's the highest award for bravery that we give in the armed forces. And just to give you an example, in World War II, where there were 12 million folks in uniform, only 400 got it. So most of them posthumously. So they were no longer with us. One of the recipients said that the challenge that he had for citizens was just to be a good citizen, live a life that made their sacrifice worth it, that made it worthy. And I have to say, in the case of Harold Folkberg, you've done that. And so some of my friends who are no longer with us and are up there in Arlington, they would give you a salute. So thank you for living that kind of a life.
Yep.
I should probably introduce myself first. I'm Chuck Blackburn. And I met Harold over 40 years ago, and we were both running together. And we ran all over Brentwood time. course, Brentwood wasn't as big back then. And we ran a marathon together. And he was a you were a next door neighbor, right? That was great. I knew his kids when they were that big. But I'm really happy to be here. And I was a member for over 40 years. And Harold Fogelberg is the guy who.
No.
This is on behalf of the whole family. I just want to say thank you, this whole group, for recognizing my father. Like you said, Devin, he is a perfect example of the embodiment of what we should be. I've been fortunate enough to have him as a father. And this, this group's always been, I'm always so comfortable. Rotary group, I've grown up with the Rotary. I even did Rotaract and all that. I never joined the club. I came with my dad a lot. We helped on the fundraisers and Pancake Day and the runs. And I've always just enjoyed this organization, what they do, and everyone here. So thank you very much.
All right, I know the last call. Anybody else happy? All right, here we go.
Future Rotarian right there named Todd Fogelberg. That's what I took away from that. All right, we do have a speaker today, so we want to get on to the speaker. We have a great program for you. Michael Bear is going to introduce our speaker and kick us off.
Which I'm going to try to do in 90 seconds. It's a real treat and honor for me to introduce my friend, David Deal. David serves as chairman and chief executive officer of LifePoint Hospitals here in Brentwood, a diversified healthcare network consisting of 60 acute hospitals and an additional 60 rehabilitation and behavioral health hospitals and more than 250 additional sites of care. David joined LifePoint in 2007 as executive vice president, chief financial officer, later then serving as president and chief operating officer from 2009 to 2018. He's responsible for the development and oversight of LifePoint's strategic priorities and organizational growth. David's the former chairman of the board for the Federation of American Hospitals and currently serves as a member of FH's board and executive committee. He is the immediate past chairman of the board for the Nashville Healthcare Council and remains an active member there. David, I first met David probably 25 plus years ago when David was executive vice president and chief financial officer and treasurer for Renal Healthcare. He and his wife, Ashley, have son, Watson, and daughter, help. Yeah. Who? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So I don't remember. I remember the guys. I don't remember the daughters. Oh, and David is a racer also, having graduated from Murray State University and now is serving on the board of trustees for the Murray State University Foundation. Please help me in welcoming my friend David Deal.
Appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me to be here. And Harold, it was so fun to watch you being honored. More enjoyable than watching you being honored is I wasn't even looking at you. I was looking at the rest of your family, and I could see most of their faces and the emotion on all their faces as Keely was up here reading was priceless. So well done. Thank you for all your service. And I'm glad to be here. Here's what I know my job is. When that clock gets to 11, the longhand gets to 11, I'm done. And so I'm going to have you definitely out of here on time. I can sit up here and talk about healthcare all day long. I got to know Mike 25 years ago. The reason I know it's 25 years ago is because I got invited to go to the Kentucky Derby one year. And I grew up in Kentucky, but I never even imagined I'd be invited to go to the Kentucky Derby. I was invited to Kentucky Derby. I was traveling all over the place. And there was this lady that worked for me And she said, David, you need a new outfit to wear the Kentucky Derby. And I said, okay, Terry, run down there, take care of it. You know kind of how my body is shaped. Get me something to wear the Derby. I flew back in on Thursday night. We went to the Oaks on Friday and the Derby on Saturday. And the bill came in. And when the bill came in, I did not know you could spend that much money on a sport coat, a pair of slacks, 2 shirts, and 2 ties. And that is where my relationship with Mike Barrett started. And 25 years later, I love going to see Mike Barrett. And now I understand how much clothes cost, but also understand how much relationships matter. And I really enjoyed it. The reason he didn't have a trouble with my son's name, and I thought he was going to say my second son is named Richard. That's my daughter's husband, is because once a year on their birthday, I take them in, and it's a day for me to spend with them to let them buy something. Now, I set a limit. Mike and I go in, I text him, I say, this is all you can show him. Like, I don't have that kind of money. But I want them to know what clothes look like and feel like and can feel like, but also want them to understand that there are limits to everything. So we have fun doing that once a year. My son's birthday is coming up, and so we will be back in to see you here shortly. So anyway, glad to be here. Congratulations on the honors. I've got Mississippi State blood in me. We talked about that a little bit. Keely, a good friend of mine, is Doug Gold, who I know you work with. Doug's father was an incredible basketball player at Mississippi State. Doug became a roommate with me. My job growing up as a kid is my father coached basketball. And now you can just like pay all these players whatever money to come play, which my dad would be like, what in the world has gone on with college athletics? And what does all this have to do with healthcare? Well, it doesn't really have anything to do with healthcare at this point, but I'm going to get to it in just a second. But my job as a kid during summer camp was to be roomed with the best basketball player that was at camp. So my dad could come to my room at night and talk to his son, but he didn't really want to talk to me. It gave him an opportunity to talk to players like Travis Ford and Rex Chapman, and Doug Gold was one of them. So that's where I first crossed paths with Doug Gold, and my dad and Doug's dad were lifelong friends. So anyway, glad to be here. Let's jump in real quick. I threw together 4 or 5 slides, and I only threw together slides here because I think it helps. You may want just toggle to the next one. For some reason this isn't working. It tells a little bit of the story. There's 5,000 hospitals roughly in the country. When you think about behavioral hospitals and rehabilitation hospitals and acute care hospitals, like Williamson Medical here, like Vanderbilt downtown, St. Thomas, Centennial. There's 5,000 of those hospitals around the country. 80% of those are not-for-profit hospitals. And what does that mean? They don't run their business any different than I run my business, but they are exempt from paying taxes. They can take tax dollars and reinvest them in other places. It could go to philanthropy. It could go to products and services. It could go to expansion, just like you see a big expansion happening out at Williamson Medical Center. Just the business models are financed a little different, and the history of healthcare has allowed that exemption to continue. And I think there is a debate on how long should that continue. But 80% of those hospitals around the country that you drive by every day and read about are not-for-profit hospitals. They don't pay property taxes. They don't pay sales taxes. They don't pay a few other taxes along the way, but everything else about all those hospitals is virtually the same. LifePoint is a for-profit entity. We started here in 1999. We've been at this 27 years. Harold, when our company started, you had already been serving almost 20 years on the Rotary Club board in the Rotary Club here, but we've been around 27 years. We haven't been around 100 years, but a lot of the hospitals that we own and operate around the country have been in existence for 100 years. And over time, communities make decisions on, can I continue to operate my hospital and be efficient, be effective? Can I invest the right way? And I think that's the debate that's going on just down the street here at Williams Medical Center. And that's a natural decision and process that hundreds and hundreds of other communities have worked through over different periods of time. Some are in more depressed communities, some are in more advanced communities, but those are decisions that health systems make. These are expensive businesses to run. They're capital intensive. It requires you to recruit and retain some of the highest talent that's coming out of med schools around the country, coming out of nursing schools around the country, and you have to bring them to communities. It's pretty easy to recruit someone to come to Brentwood, Tennessee. to go work at Williamson Medical, or to enroll their kids in your great public schools here and drive into Nashville and work at Vanderbilt or St. Thomas or Centennial. Where we operate hospitals is we operate hospitals in small communities like Winchester, Tennessee, like Pulaski, Tennessee, like Athens, Tennessee, like Livingston, Tennessee. And we're in hospital in communities like that where the dynamics are a little bit different. And over time, those communities realized that they needed a different structure than trying to do this themselves. A lot of these hospitals are owned by the county. And honestly, what does the county know about running a hospital in a very sophisticated business? And they decide that they need a partner. And that's where our company comes to the table. Up here, some words that we talk about all the time. I'm not going to talk about them here. The only reason I put this up, when I look at one of your four-way tests, is it truth? This is what guides us each and every day. And even though we're a for-profit company and 80% of the hospitals are not, we are guided every day by a mission. I left a meeting right before I came over here, and these are the things we're talking about. The mission, the vision, our core values. I heard someone say, Keely, or someone said, do the right thing, or somebody that was speaking a minute ago, doing the right thing. You can see those words up here. That's very important to us. The next slide, if you want to advance to the next slide real quick, here's a map of where we're located. I think one of the unique things of Nashville that I think is understood if you're close to healthcare, but underappreciated and misunderstood if you're not involved in healthcare, is Nashville and Middle Tennessee really is the healthcare capital of the world. Nashville and Middle Tennessee is similar to Silicon Valley, to software and technology out on the West Coast. And we have some incredible institutions here. I think about Vanderbilt. I was listening to Dr. Diermeyer speak last night at a graduation commencement that he was speaking. And I think about the brand and the reach of Vanderbilt. But most of their resources are right here. But what they develop spreads out throughout the world. It's pretty incredible. But most of those resources are right here in Middle Tennessee. Maybe some virtual now and some West Coast researchers, but a lot of it's here. When you think about HCA, when you think about community health systems, that some of you may know people that work at community health systems just down the road in Franklin. What's unique about our company is we have a relatively small footprint here in Nashville. HCA has a relatively small footprint, but ours is even smaller than that footprint. But the reach that you have to impact healthcare around the country, I think that's what makes Nashville unique. Because each one of us have a broad network of facilities and resources and assets that we can see what works in one place and what doesn't work in one place. And how do we then develop best practices to spread that out, to improve care, and to fulfill our mission. So this is a little bit of our map today, a little over 10 billion, almost 11 billion in revenue, 55,000 employees. We only have about 300 or 400 here. So you can see less than 1% of our employee base is sitting right here. Most of our people are spread out through all these dots from the Pacific Northwest and some incredible areas of southeastern Washington, all the way up into Pennsylvania, Johnstown, Pennsylvania, down to Florida, and all the way across. And the dots just keep building. Today, we have 60 acute care hospitals, and that makes up the vast majority of the company today. On Monday, we'll be adding more hospitals into the portfolio. In addition to those 60, it'll be over 65 hospitals here in the next few hours. Then we will have the rehabilitation and the behavioral health hospitals that Mike talked about to build out a continuum of care. And when I think about the company, I think about where's healthcare going, and we want to be a reflection of where healthcare is going, not where healthcare has been. And so that's what's really helped us as we think about building out this portfolio coast to coast and moving to where healthcare is moving. It has become a significant part of the GDP of this country, and there is a huge debate going on the affordability of healthcare. There's no question about it. And on sometimes I can be that's my thought. It is. I always pick up the phone when my daughter or son call. And I started doing that years and years ago. So they always knew wherever Dad was in the world, that they could call, and on the second ring, Dad would pick up. So anytime I hear it, I look and make sure it's not them. If it was them, I would have picked up and said, I'll call you right back if you're safe. But it was not them. Anyway, we built out this network, and we want to be where healthcare is going and not where healthcare has been. Let's go forward a couple of slides real quick because I want to get to. Here's Some of these names may make sense to you. You have been in Middle Tennessee and part of the business community for many, many years. LifePoint started in 1999, 27 years ago, out of HCA. HCA looked at their portfolio and said, we have hospitals in small communities that may get overlooked over time. And what would happen if we formed a new company, put those hospitals that are in small communities all together, they were more homogeneous, and put a management team around it, put some capital around it that can invest properly? Could we make Winchester better than it will be on its own, or better than it would be if it was part of a big national system like HCA? And that's what started the experiment. I call it an experiment. Nobody really thought it would work. I got to the company in 2007, but through this evolution, Regional Care was a company here, a gentleman by the name of Marty Rash. Marty built that company. LifePoint bought it. Marty did it again. We bought his company again, serial entrepreneur, and we just kept consolidating businesses together. And then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, we made a strategic decision to begin to diversify the company. We realized that these hospitals by themselves, over time, when the next pandemic hits, and maybe the national reaction to the next pandemic wouldn't be the same. We can all debate that. We can save that for a future day. But we know something like that's going to happen again. And when it does, how do we ensure that these hospitals are supported and structured the right way to ensure that we don't have gaps in care? And that's what drives us every day. When a hospital fails, I was sitting in my backyard in March and April of 2020, and it was a scary time. And hospitals were shutting down services, and we're the only hospital in town. And I thought, if Vanderbilt started to really struggle, people in Nashville can probably just turn and go the other way and move into Centennial or St. Thomas for care if it's needed. Nashville's lucky enough to have multiple hospitals. If a hospital fails in our communities, healthcare could end. So failure was not an option. So we spent a lot of time planning and thinking through that. Fortunately, the government came to help the industry as we shut down services and then reopen services. Medicaid rolls swelled. That's the debate that's going on now. Medicaid rolls swelled to take care of everybody, and now we're moving those dollars out of the federal budget and trying to push them back down in the state budgets, probably where they belonged all along. But we go through these cycles in this industry when your biggest payers are Medicare and Medicaid and our commercial payers. Those are the three ways I get paid. There's cycles that you go through, and we saw a lot of those dollars move up to the federal level. And now, as part of the big bill that was passed, that Mr. Blackburn knows extremely well, his wife was very involved, our senator, very involved in structuring, is really pushing dollars back down to where they belong. And so there's this federal versus state going back and forth, and we are in the middle of it. The good news is we have plenty of time to react to it. Some of these changes don't start going into effect until we get into 28 and beyond. And it takes time to react to those because these are big, complex businesses that have to shift. So more to come on that. But I think that's important for you to understand that healthcare is expensive. Hospitals are expensive. The affordability is an issue that we're all struggling with. But hospitals become the repository of so much of the cost that happens in healthcare. Whether it's doctors, whether it's nurses, whether it's device manufacturers, they're making money on things and they charge it to the hospitals for us to provide a service. All those healthcare costs have consolidated over time more and more into the income statement and into our operations. And then it shines a big bright light on how expensive healthcare is. And we are going to continue to work to bring healthcare costs down. We have got to relinquish our addiction to labor. 50% of our revenue is in labor, and AI is going to change that in a big way. Don't know exactly how it's going to change it, but it will change it over time. There may be robotic surgeries being performed in small communities that we can't even imagine. There might even be autonomous robotic surgeries that are happening in communities around the country that 5 years ago we probably could not have imagined. Those are just examples of, over the next 10 to 20 years, you're going to continue to see significant change in the way that hospitals operate. And we're going to have to, because the curve is unsustainable. And so, yes, I could be part of the problem, but as I go up to Washington and spend a lot of time up on Capitol Hill and in the White House, it's also, I want to be part of the solution as well. So I'll leave you with that. There's a lot that's in here. I'll leave you with this one, sir. There is, above my computer in my office, I have some pictures. And pictures to me tell 1,000 words. And it's a picture of an older gentleman. And he was a volunteer in one of our hospitals in Louisiana. And as I got to know him, I stopped and talked to him a few times. On the last time I had the opportunity to meet with him face to face, I asked him, "What do you need from me?" And here's what he said. He didn't care how big we were. He didn't care if we had 2 hospitals or 150 hospitals or 1 million hospitals. All he cared about was his hospital. And what he says, I need you to make sure this is a great hospital for my kids and grandkids because I'm going to be gone before long. He passed away shortly thereafter. But my kids and my grandkids, Harold, just like your family is surrounding you, my kids and my grandkids live here, and this is their hospital where they're going to keep coming. So whatever you do, please make sure this is a great hospital. And that motivates me each and every day. I was looking at that photo today, and when I think about being part of the solution and not the problem, when I think about keeping care close to home, what I didn't commit to him is this hospital is going to look the same. But what I did commit to him is we're going to do everything we can, not just here in Louisiana, but around the country to make sure that these are great hospitals that will stand the test of time. And I'm excited about what we've accomplished. Nashville's lucky to have healthcare and the innovation that happens in healthcare here. It's a huge driver of the economy. It's incredibly important. And that doctor to nurse and patient interaction. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I get to watch what they do every day and making sure that that remains sacred, uninterrupted, and special for as long as we can. That's what drives our company every day. And thank you for letting me come and speak for a few minutes. All right. Thank you. I'll finish right now.
Okay, to power through for time, he's already signed the book, but he doesn't realize what he did in signing the book. We have a guest. Thank you. Sign with that pen too. We read to elementary school kids, and so we like to share with them about you.
Oh, nice.
Put your question in there as well. So thank you for pre-doing that.
You bet.
No knowledge. He trusted me,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for that. All right, our guests, we have many. David, Harold, Paula, Ellie, Anna Ray, Darcy, Todd, and Sarah. I think I got you all. Chuck, so good to see you again. And please come back. Rocco, Jackie from the Nashville Club, and Linda, future Rotarian, right there. I think that's all of our guests. So thank you guys for coming. Next week, we have another great program for you. Brian Masterson is coming to speak with us. And then, like I mentioned at the beginning of this, the 12th is our scholarship program, and the 19th is our community grant. So lots of things going on in our club in the next couple of weeks. Thank you again for coming. Love to hear about anything regarding to healthcare. And I think that's it. Does anybody else have anything else? Yes, we have a BRCCF meeting right after this meeting. So if you are in the BRCCF, please stay. Stacks of 8 chairs, not up against the wall. And I think that's it for the Good of Rotary.